You know what? It's weird to be doing a trade video in Adobe Audition instead of using the Streamlabs to do the screen recording and everything, because realistically, this trade is so minor. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. This trade doesn't have much impact on the Vancouver Canucks, but they made it anyway. So we have to go out there and talk about it. Patrik Allvin has made yet another trade after the blockbuster deals that we had seen last week. It seems like Friday is Patrik Allvin's trading day, because today the Vancouver Canucks have sent Mark Friedman to the Nashville Predators for nothing. Goodbye, Friedman. Future considerations is the return here for the Vancouver Canucks, and somebody was asking in the replies of this tweet, why? Why would they trade this guy for nothing? What's going on? And I like the responses out of this tweet because they're both very different. One reply from Pucker Toolman says, oh, they're probably giving a good guy a chance to play in the NHL. And that's fine, right? Totally good analysis of the trade. But the second reply says, oh, why are the Canucks trading Friedman to the Predators? Because they're going to get Noah Dobson. Hell yeah, baby. Hell freaking yeah. We just made a video about that. Go out there and check out the scoop. The Islanders are shopping Dobson and they want Elias Pettersson. How great is that? But let's talk about Mark Friedman because he is the man of the hour here, getting sent away to the Milwaukee Admirals in the AHL, or at least that's what it says here on Elite Prospects. We're just going to assume Nashville because Mark Friedman is a good, solid veteran pro that has worked himself up and down in the NHL the past few years. 29, 5'11", right-handed defenseman, 185 pounds, signed on to the end of this season, making $775,000. Mark Friedman was initially acquired by the Vancouver Canucks last year in the... Okay, I gotta test my knowledge here. What was the trade which sent Friedman over to Vancouver in the first place with the Pittsburgh Penguins? It was for... I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up. It was Jack Rathbone. Ah, okay. That's exactly what it was. Right. October 17th, 2023. The Vancouver Canucks traded Jack Rathbone and Kara Plasek to the Penguins for Mark Friedman and Ty Glover. So it seems like Patrik Allvin and Jimmy Rutherford, they're finally getting rid of some of these Pittsburgh guys. As if they hadn't already done that with the Danton Heinen trade from last week. But anyways, Mark Friedman has played in 20 Abbotsford Canucks games this season, 6 points, a goal, and 5 assists. He had played in 5 Vancouver Canucks games this season too. Last year, he had 23 Vancouver Canucks games, had an assist. He was also a point per game for the Abbey Canucks in the AHL. Honestly, with the amount of time that Mark Friedman has spent up with the Vancouver Canucks, just as an extra guy, playing in practice, having a power play unit with the Sedins and doing all this crazy stuff, it was a pretty good run for this guy in the Canucks organization. He had spent the past few years before Vancouver rotating around in the Philadelphia and Pittsburgh organizations, up and down between their AHL teams and NHL teams after graduating from Bowling Green State University's hockey program. Friedman, of course, is a depth defenseman, and there isn't really much value you could have gotten out of this guy on the trade market. Even with the Vancouver Canucks and their dismal defensive situation in 2024-2025, they still weren't keen on using Friedman often, so a trade like this, sending him over to Nashville, if you assume he gets called up and he plays with the Predators, this is a really good move for Friedman, giving him an NHL job and allowing him to make that NHL money. Or actually, no, that's not the case. If you head over to Friedman and his contract, turns out he's making the same amount of money in the AHL as he would be in the NHL. I didn't realize it was a one-way deal. Huh. So I guess really this is just a contract where the dollar amount is negligible. It's more so an opportunity for him. If you head over to the Nashville Predators and their lines, they have Nick Blankenburg playing in a top 4 role. They've got Kevin Gravel on their bottom pairing. Same with Adam Wilsby. I don't know about you, but Nick Blankenburg was barely able to crack the Columbus Blue Jackets organization's defense core last year. And Adam Wilsby, I get it. He's a young dude. He found himself onto the team. Good to see him have a role. But he was a career AHLer before making the NHL for the first time this season. Meanwhile, Kevin Gravel, up and down in LA and Edmonton and Toronto, he's had a weird career too. Mark Friedman has an opportunity to break onto this Nashville Predators defense core. He definitely does. And even though they do have other guys that are out with injury right now, Jeremy Lauzon isn't playing, there still are opportunities for these AHL dudes, and Friedman, give him a chance. He's a pretty mobile guy. He's feisty. He loves to get under the opponent's skin. If you play off against Philadelphia, he'll go out there and get himself a fighting major guaranteed. It usually happens against his old team over there. And Mark Friedman, while he doesn't really provide much offensively, he does provide a stable enough and mobile game that I actually did feel comfortable when he was in the lineup, especially last year. Not so much this year because the sample size is a lot smaller, but last year when the Vancouver Canucks did have Friedman in a consistent bottom pairing role, I actually was decently impressed with him. Like, I remember making post-game videos saying, yeah, I mean, Friedman was okay. He's not amazing, but he's definitely not bad, and that's honestly all you need. Now, I get it. There are other people in Canucks land that are talking about the presence of Noah Juulsen on the team and how Mark Friedman is better than Juulsen and how Juulsen is one of the worst defensemen we have seen on the Canucks in years and how he's still sticking around here. This comment on the R Canucks sub says, Juulsen has to have Patrik and his friends blackmailed. And then the extra reply from Greg the Great says, I wouldn't be surprised if this trade is just a favor to Mark Friedman. After adding Victor Mancini and having Soucy finally play that right side, Friedman is deep enough down that right-handed defenseman depth chart that I doubt he's going to be playing much more. This opens up a contract slot and gives him a chance to play NHL hockey, or at least hang out in the press box. Abbotsford has such a logjam that trading him and Brannstrom lets us play our prospects more, too. It's about time we get rid of some of these seventh defensemen. And I think that's a great way to look at it. Trade away Brannstrom, trade away Desharnais, trade away Friedman, cut out some of the fat here on this Vancouver Canucks brisket of a decor, and add a little bit of flavor. Add some Italian seasoning with your Vittorio Mancini acquisition. What a great name to pick up for the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, I know, it says Victor Mancini, but his actual name is Vittorio Mancini, which is amazing. So Italian right there. But, all Italian food jokes aside, lots of extra depth being added on the right side. Carson Soucy switched over, with the left side having Elias Pettersson, Marcus Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, Forbort. You have enough guys here that are better than all the other guys that you had played. And so for Mancini, he can stick around, he can still be in the press box, he can do what he needs to do to work his way onto the lineup. He's a lot younger than Mark Friedman, so Friedman, it's like, we already know what he is. He's not going to get necessarily any better, so why not give him a chance to play in the National Hockey League? It's for future considerations. The Canucks are getting rid of the cap hit. They open up a roster spot. This is a really good trade for both teams. And Patrik Allvin, he gets a pat in the back for giving Mark Friedman a chance to consistently get himself into an NHL lineup. If he plays well enough to outdo Kevin Gravel, then good on him. Like, there's a chance for him to have some good work this year. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about the Vancouver Canucks making yet another trade, sending another defenseman away alongside of Brannstrom and Desharnais. This time it's Mark Friedman. Everything is changing for the Vancouver Canucks in this very quick time before the trade deadline, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? Preds fans, Canucks fans, how do you feel about this trade? I hope you enjoyed this video. 99 and bye.